What crime has he committed? In the overall story of the crucifixion and the resurrection of Jesus, perhaps the most intriguing character on this Palm Sunday is the person of Pontius Pilate. As the fifth governor of the region of Judea, he was tasked to maintain law and order in a society of hotheads, religious extremists, devout nationalists, purists, and every other possible subset of political and religious grouping. He did not have an easy job. There would probably be uprisings every week, maybe even more than one. And now here comes another case before him, this time a character of some interest. He has heard of this Jesus of Nazareth, a man with the power to do incredible things within the realm of the physical phenomenon. And here he now stands, charged with all manner of crimes by the religious elite of the community, the college of priests that Pilate himself is probably all too familiar with as well. In the crescendo that builds up to the execution and assassination of Jesus, Pontius Pilate is the man with the power to end all of this with just one command. The scriptures tell us plainly in verse 10 of the gospel for today that Pilate is aware that the priests are only motivated by their own self-interest, and this is why they are handing Jesus over to him to be crucified. The historians have searched far and wide for nuggets of information about Pilate the man. So many conflicting reports have been suggested about him, claiming him to be ruthless and barbaric, while others suggest he might have been more of a vacillator. Nevertheless, Pilate is the final man with the power to prevent the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, the King of the Jews. Personally, I think Pilate was just concerned with his image and wanted to be seen as one who could keep the peace and prevent uprisings for political and religious reasons. He saw that the groundswell of support for Jesus was rising tremendously, and the people were prepared to make him king by force if they had to. The temple machinery knew that their livelihood was at stake. Their sacrifices to God would no longer be necessary. God is here with us. You and your money changers and your animal sellers can go and get lost, the people would say. These were very uncertain and unstable times. Why didn't the priests just stone Jesus themselves for blasphemy and get it over with? They stoned Stephen. They were going to stone the woman caught in adultery. Why not save Pilate and the Roman government the hassle of getting involved in the Jewish religious affairs? The high priests and the Sanhedrin were caught in a delicate position. If they had killed Jesus, the people might have turned against them and called them out for their hypocrisy and insecurity. However, if Rome wanted to kill him, then the temple state would win in two ways. The people's hostility towards the Roman occupiers would have been amplified, thus giving more cause to the Jewish religious leadership to get rid of the Roman occupiers and restore the government to them. And also, if Rome killed Jesus, then the whole the Jesus movement, threat to their religious way of life, would also be eliminated. It couldn't get any better for them. Who wants a guy who can raise the dead, feed the hungry, and heal the sick hanging around anyway? The story of Pontius Pilate, in all honesty, is a story of revealed intentions. In Matthew chapter 27, Pilate receives a message from his wife, telling him to have nothing to do with Jesus, that innocent man. And as a wise married man, he heeds her advice and tries all in his power to release him. On the contrary, the religious leaders of their sect are the very ones advocating for just the opposite. Hopefully the eyes of the people will be opened. This wasn't the first person blaspheming and calling himself God. We stoned all the rest of them. So why are we so hell-bent on letting the Romans do the killing for us this time? Something just doesn't add up here. In all honesty, though, there was nothing that anyone could do to stop the crucifixion of Jesus. It was a critical part of God's plan. It was the reason why Jesus came to earth in the first place. And so, on yet another Palm Sunday, we stop to give God thanks for the part that Pontius Pilate played in the salvation story of the human race. It wouldn't be too many years later that the very same temple state the Jewish High Council would be striving so hard to protect would lie in ruins at the hands of the very same Roman occupiers, conscripted to do their bidding in the killing of the Messiah. The most powerful thing that Pilate does comes after the death of Jesus, and he is hanging on the cross in full view of the people who will come to Jerusalem for the Passover. He puts up a sign, "The King of the Jews," and hangs it on the cross above Jesus' head. The council asked him to change it to something else. This man said that he is the King of the Jews. But Pilate, using all of his power, says to them, "What I have written, I have written." He will show the high priests, the scribes, and the council the full power of his office. Rome has now spoken. Jesus Christ of Nazareth is the King of the Jews. The plan of the high priest has begun to fail from this very moment. Wait until 3 days later.